It's When Fists Fly with Big Nige, and welcome to our latest edition of Boxing Weekly Roundup. First and foremost, we always got to give a shout out to the boxing fans that always tune in, that have liked and commented and shared our content. We really appreciate it, and so long may it continue. Boxing fans, it has been one hell of a weekend. Friday, we had the Matchroom Fight Camp Round 3. We also had Queensbury Promotions, Frank Warren host at the York Hall on Saturday. And then also we had the Zone that took place on the weekend as well. Where to start? Let's start off with Matchroom Fight Camp. Felix Cash was main eventing with Jason Welborn. He stopped him in the 5th round. It's probably my second or third time watching Felix Cash live, and I would say you can tell he's well schooled. He's come from GB boxing from round 1 really. He established the jab, established the range, and works that from the beginning. He was literally a level above really. I mean, Welborn, yes, he's the older fighter. My brother told me earlier on today that he fought Matthew Macklin, so that's how long he's been in the game. Even Sky Sports put out a fact that he's got 10 years in terms of being in the professional game over Felix Cash. So you could see that it was literally youth and enthusiasm against the old school. And obviously the youth and enthusiasm with Felix Cash coming from Team GB, that was a superior, and obviously that's what was the end result. He worked on the jab early. He was working on the body from early as well. In the interview, he mentioned that every time he was hit into the body, he could hear Jason Welborn making squint noises, so he knew he was doing the job. So it was only literally a matter of time before the next body shot was going to take him down. Although he did take that risk because he kept on getting deducted points for going below the belt, but I guess it paid off in the end because he stopped him in the 5th round. He dropped him in the 5th, and again with another body shot, he stopped him. I'll be honest with you guys, that matchup wasn't really a 50-50 in comparison to the main events of Ted Cheeseman and Sam Eggington, and then obviously last week with Natasha Jonas and Terry Harper. Out of the 3 that I've seen in the Matchroom fight camps, that's probably the weakest of the main events. Although the undercards did, I would say, justify the match card in a sense. It was probably the most exciting match card that we've seen over the 3 Matchroom fight counts that have been televised. Big shout out to Zelfa Barrett, because the last time I watched you fight, my bro, was when you lost to the Journeyman for the European title. You went under the radar because there was a lot of hype about you beforehand. So I wanted to see if you were the real deal. You lost to a Journeyman and you went under the radar, and you've come back, and bro, you look like the real deal now. So you were losing to what was his name? Eric Donovan. Shout out to Eric Donovan, slick southpaw, just didn't have the power to cause enough damage. You were winning on points, and then Zelfa just came out in the 7th and 8th. Bro, them left hooks and right hooks literally done my man's dance. And that's the fun thing about boxing, because you could be winning on points thinking, all right, see it out to the 12th round, and it just takes that one lapse of concentration, and it's literally, the fight can turn on its head. And that's literally what we saw with Zelfa Barrett and Eric Donovan. So shout out to Zelfa Barrett. You're obviously a Commonwealth champion at this moment in time. I'd like to see you move on from that and go to try and go for the European honours where you was at a few years back, a few fights ago I should say. So big up to yourself. Shannon Courtney suffered a shock defeat to massive underdog Rachel Wall. Big shout out to Rachel Wall first and foremost, because boxing is not even your full-time job. Your full-time job is a social worker. So you got given the opportunity to fight on a massive card, on a matchroom fight, and you took it with both hands. So big up to yourself, and you've given yourself and probably another extra fight now with a rematch. Shannon Courtney, massive credit to you, but I guess it just wasn't your night. I think, my opinion, the knockdown in the 1st round was a massive disadvantage and gave herself an uphill battle. In those kind of close contests, those small finer details as the reasons what make the judges for their final decisions, in my opinion. Obviously, if the knockdown didn't happen, and obviously, as the fight would have gone on, Shannon Courtney probably would have taken it, being the home fighter. But the knockdown had a massive impact, and it was just an uphill battle. The fact that she was a smaller fighter as well, I personally believe that she kept on saying that she enjoys fighting taller fighters or rangier fighters because that's where she's able to show her skill set. I'm not saying that she didn't show her skill set, but it wasn't convincing enough in the judges' eyes to get the victory at the end of the day. And again, the knockdown played a massive impact. So, but take nothing from her, take nothing from Rachel Ball. It was a great fight, and I'm sure Shannon Courtney will come back learning from her mistakes and obviously go on to win world honours as she's been propelled to do, actually. So big up yourself, Shannon Courtney. Don't get it twisted, folks. It was a tough battle, but in my opinion, Rachel Ball won it because she was she knocked her down in the first round, and those significant moments make the difference in these kind of fights when it comes to such a close contest. So congratulations to Rachel Ball. You've gained a new fan in myself, and I'll be keeping close eyes on your development and how your career pans out. Jessica Mccaskill has made history as she has ended Cecilia Braekhus's 11-year reign as world champion. Fantastic, first and foremost, Jessica Mccaskill, because I remember watching you against Katie Taylor, and I remember all the hype about you, and I thought, is that it? But you've proved me wrong. You've gone on to win a world title in that same weight class you lost to Katie Taylor. Not only that, you've now gone up in weight. Well, yeah, you have gone up in weight. It was a catch weight, but you've gone up in weight. And I know Cecilia Braekhus is 30, 37, 38. She's come to the end of her career, but she's undefeated, and she was the first female to win all the belts in one division. So she is a name that's been about for years. But credit to you. You've done your thing, and a massive, massive kudos. Watch the highlights, and literally it was just a younger fighter versus an older fighter, someone who's hungrier, more of the aggressor. And I think even in one round, Jessica Mccaskill threw more than 230 punches than Cecilia Braekhus. So that just shows that in the volume of punches, that just shows who's more the hungrier, more the aggressor. But don't take anything away from Cecilia Braekhus. 11-year reigning champion. It's coming to an end of an era. It's passing on the baton. And even in the interview with Cecilia, it sounded like she was just happy. She was humble in defeat and happy that it's been passed on to someone that can now fly the flag for women's boxing. And it sounded like that was possibly her last fight. Don't quote me on that, but from the reaction in the interview, she's more looking forward to spending time with family and friends now. I guess with the height that women's boxing is reaching now, I guess she can leave the sport with her head held high, and no one can really chat rubbish that she done this, she lost to this, because obviously she's an OG in the game. So credit to you, Cecilia. Credit to Jessica Mccaskill, because now you're the #1 kingpin. So I wonder who's going to be up next. Well, can we see the likes of Katie Taylor moving up to welterweight? Who knows? She's obviously got a tough fight against Delphine Pursoon, so maybe it might be too early to see. But I mean, she's beaten Jessica Mccaskill before. What's stopping her from doing it again and cleaning up the welterweight division, and she's already down in the lightweight? So interesting times ahead. Big up women's boxing, because I'm enjoying every minute of it, and so long may it continue. The Jackal, my man, Carl Frampton, was in action over the weekend, I should say. He stopped Darren Traynor, I believe, in the 7th round at York Hall. It was devastating body shot that took him out in the 7th round. I'm a big fan of the Jackal. He's now en route to fight. His name is Jamal Herring for the WBO title, providing Jamal Herring is victorious in his fight in September. And if the Jackal is successful, he will be the first Irishman to become a 3-weight world champion. My man's just breaking records. I can't lie, the loss to Josh Warrington still hurts me because I'm such a big fan of Carl Frampton. But I believe with every defeat, there's always something positive down the line. And I believe that he will beat Jamal Herring and become a 3-weight world champion and continue to break records, because He's one hell of a man and one hell of a fighter. For those who don't know, I did see like a quote or a video of Shakur Stevenson saying that he's ready to fight Carl Frampton. I'm a big fan of Shakur Stevenson, but bro, you gotta learn to crawl before you walk, because the Jackal ain't no joke. Yes, you're champion and you've been to the Olympics and you've got amateur experience, but the Jackal's different gravy, bro. So I say just keep it for now. Keep doing what you're doing in your division, and whenever you two do lock horns, it'll be one hell of a fight. But big up to Carl Frampton. Mickey Conlon was also on the card as well. He was victorious, and he's en route to fight for his first world title. So big up yourself. I'm a big fan of these guys there, because obviously in the lower weight classes, it's not necessarily much more about power, but it's all about skill set, footwork, timing, and obviously speed. So when you watch these guys move, you're just like in awe. So big up yourselves, and another great performance from the both of you. David Benavidez has been stripped of his WBC super middleweight title because he was overweight for his most recent fight against Roma Angulo. I don't even know where to start with this kid. He's 23 years old. I've seen him in action, and the brother can fight. He's got great hand speed, loves to throw the uppercut, and great combinations. And I feel like if there's someone that's going to give Callum Smith any trouble in that division, it's most likely him, because obviously he's probably the same height as Callum Smith, and obviously he's got a great background as well, amateur wise. And there's something about the Mexicans, American Mexicans. I feel like they've always got their heart. They've got that fighting spirit in them. So to hear that he's been stripped of his world title again, because obviously he lost the title because he failed a drugs test. I think it was to do with cocaine. It's a bit disappointing. I mean, how can you be coming overweight at the weigh-in? Like, it just shows where your heart is, which it's not professional. It's not a good look. And on your record now, it looks like you've lost the title twice, and it's not even the fact that you've been beaten by a better man. It's because you weren't acting correct. So I'm a bit disappointed to hear that. The funniest thing is, the same person who he was supposed to fight, where he was overweight, he ended up beating him anyways. So it's like, you've lost the title, but yet you still get the victory, and now the WBC is vacant again. Like, what is the point? And apparently, if he had beaten Roma Angulo, he would have gone on to fight mandatory Anthony Yildirim, and then the winner will fight Callum Smith. So the big fight was literally in touching distance, but you've literally thrown it all down the pan. And like, I know he's young, he's 23 years old, so there might be that sense of inexperience and immaturity. But come on, bro, like, you're wasting talent, man. The fights are there for you. I don't know. Like, he's literally now gone, I won't say he's gone bottom of the queue, because anyone will take a fight against him because he's that good of a fighter. But if I'm Callum Smith now, I'm thinking, mate, you just given me an easy route to go take that WBC belt now. I ain't got to go through you. And I don't need to now as well. Why make it difficult for myself if I ain't got to? So I'm a bit disappointed with that, but hopefully he bounces back and can turn his career around, because he is a good fighter. That's it for Boxing Weekly Roundup with myself, Big Nige. But boxing fans, stay tuned this week, because we're going to do a little something special for the massive boxing weekend taking place. Stay tuned on all socials. You see my face and you see when fists fly. Peace.